Hey everyone, welcome to Post to Post. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Neil, and today I'm going to teach you how to recolorize jerseys in Lightroom. This 100% can be done in Photoshop, but I'm a photographer, like that's my background is photography. I like to primarily get things right in Lightroom first. Well, I like to get things right in camera first. If I can't, I fix it in Lightroom the best I can, and then I go to Photoshop. Photoshop's really the third step for me. I try and get things right in Lightroom. So I'm going to be teaching you today how to do this in Lightroom, although the same method is very similar in Photoshop, but we're going to stick to Lightroom today. Now, I've taken these photos, as you can see on the screen right here. I've taken the photo, and it's of a... Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Maybe you should try and figure it out yourself. But there are some other photos that I provided to other YouTubers. They've already released their videos trying to guess. So I recolorized 20 jerseys. I sent them the photos, and they tried to guess what team, what jersey, and see how they could do it. I called it the impossible challenge. Let's just quickly show you some of these. So here's an example that I posted on Twitter, actually. If you're not following me, I'm at Post to Post Show. So I recolorized this jersey, the neck, the striping, and I had them guess. I'm not going to tell you what it was in case you haven't seen those videos. By the way, all those videos are linked down below as a pinned comment and also in the description. I think there were 6 or 7 YouTubers that went through the process to do this, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so I'm not going to tell you what team this is, just in case you don't know if you want to go see those videos. Then this next one, again, I'm not going to tell you what jersey, but we went through some recolorization here with this one, and then there was this one, and then also this one, and then 16 others, because there's 20 total. I just wanted to show you guys these ones real quick. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I did that and how you can do that. There's a lot of jersey concepts out there, and that's always fun. But it's also fun to kind of play around with the idea of, hey, this jersey already exists. I wonder if it would be better if it was a different color, or, would this color scheme work for this team? So let's kind of play around with this. And maybe at the end of this colorization, I'll tell you what the jersey this is, but I think the majority of you probably know what it is. So you're going to use something called this adjustment brush tool up here on the right, and it's going to, once you click on that, it's going to bring up a new dialog box. As you can see, you've got a can you see my mouse? Yeah, you can see my mouse. A little circle. If you use your scroll wheel on your mouse, you can make it larger, bigger, whatever it is. But there's a very important thing to do here. So I'm just going to show you an example. I'm going to completely change the hue. We'll make it really blue and really purple, just so it can, look, that makes green, okay? So as you can see, I've already changed the color of this jersey just based on the few little things that I've changed. So it's gone from red to green. Pretty easy, right? Well, things get complicated when you go like this. Okay, well, now I got a white stripe that's a little bit red, and that might work, but I don't really want that. Like, I want things to look like totally real, and maybe I want that white to be something completely different. So here's a little trick that's going to help you. You see this little icon down here called, or this little selectable box called Automask? It's going to change your life. So you use this brush as normal, but it's going to detect the edge. See, I'm off into the white right now, but because it's detecting the edge, it is auto-masking that line or this area, and it's not allowing me to bleed into the white. So I've posted a bunch of these on Twitter, and maybe I'll throw some up on the screen. And I literally did them in less than a minute, because it's with Automask, it's super easy. I didn't spend a lot of time on them, and you could really, like, if I zoom in here, you can really get into the weeds, and you can see some colorization bleeding off there. Now you can do a couple little things to try and fix that and whatnot. I'm going to zoom back out. So if I know that red is bleeding off into that white part there, sorry, I'm terrible at doing two things at once. I'm thinking maybe I want to use the same style of color family, an orange, a yellow, a red, or maybe even like a deep purple, something that's going to kind of hide that colorization that's sneaking in there. So I'm just going to go to a new. Actually, I'll come all the way out, or at least a little bit of the way out. Now I'm going to paint a little bit, and that's going to give me my color. It's already started the auto mask. See how that's not bleeding over into the green or the red? So now I can just come in here, and I can just use these sliders just to kind of play around. Now the first one I actually do is, let's reset those, is the hue section. And that kind of gives me an idea of which direction I can go. And sometimes it's really hard to see. Sometimes I bump the saturation up as well so I can see. So I'm thinking like a green and purple jersey kind of. So that's kind of in that purple area. I can make it more purple or pink depending on what I want to do. So I'm going to go over in the pink section, but I think if I bring down some blues, yeah, it's going to make it more purple-ish. I can also decrease the highlights so we get more of a flat colorization. I can increase the shadows as well to kind of even things out. And I could also use the dehaze option. That's going to help us just slightly. So I'm actually okay with the colorization there. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to decrease my brush just a little bit. And I'm just going to color this. I'm going to color this section. And now it's not doing a fantastic job near the bottom, but that's okay. Oh man, my computer is really struggling. I'm recording on OBS and doing this at the same time. Okay, now we're going to go back to this one. So we click on this little dot. That's going to bring us back into the green section. Well, that top section was red. So with all these other red pieces, you want them to be the same. So now it's going to use the same settings we had before. We're going to keep doing this red. Boom, now we've got top green, or bottom green, top green. And we can do this one down here while we're at it. So let's just continue on with this green and do this section too. As you can see, it doesn't take long at all. Like all the ones I did on Twitter over, I think, 2 or 3 days, all took me less than a minute. I mean, it was really, really simple. Now, I'm not super happy with the purple. I thought it might be a good idea to go with the purple, but I can see that it wasn't. So I'm actually going to change that to not a pink. Pink's a little bit too aggressive. Maybe if we did decrease the saturation, that'll help a little bit. But I think I actually maybe want to go with an orange. Or maybe a yellow. Yellow wouldn't be too bad. Looks like it's handling the colorization there a little bit better. So maybe like an off-white. That kind of looks like an off-white. We're getting into some heavy yellow there. That looks a little bit unnatural. So just a hint of yellow to make it look like an off-white. That'll probably help us a little bit more. So now that I've colorized that white, I can go down here and colorize this big section. So I'm going to zoom way out. And I'm also going to crop. All right, so we cropped in a little bit so we can't see the table at the bottom. Now I'm going to switch back. I'm going to select the white mask, or that white stripe mask. And now we can just continue on down. And now I'm noticing some, obviously, some issues here with this colorization, just the way that it's handling it. So I'm going to change the color again. But this is the process that you can go through. I mean, you might have an idea in your mind, but maybe it doesn't work. We'll just keep on going. There's that mask at work, that auto mask. Like 99% of the time it works great. And if you're going to take it really seriously, you got to zoom in, you got to go through the details and make sure that it's done completely correct, or as correct as you can get it. So it doesn't look too bad, but I'm still not very happy with it. Maybe more like that, kind of like a lemon lime style. Now we've got this blue section in here. I'm not sure what'll complement well with the lemon and lime look. Maybe an orange, possibly. We'll have to see. Let's do another one into the blue. I don't think red. We don't want red. Maybe orange wouldn't look great. Maybe a lighter blue? I don't know what a lighter blue would look like. Yeah, something like that. You can increase the exposure a little bit. That still looks natural. No, I don't want that. Let's just stick with this for now. Add some blue in there. Let that mask go to work. It'll do a good job for the most part. Obviously, there's going to be some mistakes here and there. And I thought maybe some bleeded over a little bit. So I'm going to go into the erase section, but I'm going to hover over this dot so we can see the mask. Okay, so it actually didn't bleed over very much or at all. So there we have it. We've completely changed this jersey. We've gone from red, white, and blue, dark blue, to green, yellowish off-white, and light blue. Does it look good? It doesn't really matter. Like, this is just a test, right? If I was going to do this properly, I might go with a different color combination. I was just trying to choose like completely different colors to show you what you really can do. Now I've got another one that I want to kind of go through as well. This is a Philadelphia Flyers. I'll just tell you what it is. It's a Philadelphia Flyers jersey. I gotta fix this a little bit because it's a little hard to see. Maybe it's not on yours, but it's hard to see on mine. So I just want to actually edit the photo first so we can get some more detail into the black. Bring some highlights down. We're gonna crop this as well. Get rid of that table. So we'll leave it as is. Now we've got options here. I see some white up in the top left. Just gonna fix that. We've got some options here. Is what we can do. But let's just see what happens. That's kind of what I like to do sometimes. Is just honestly just see what happens. Like that's a really interesting color. That's almost like a rose, like a pinkish rose kind of color. I don't know if there's, I mean, it's close to burgundy and maroon a little bit, but there's no color like that in the NHL that I can think of. I mean, there's obviously there's similarities, like I said, but this specific shade, not really. And now you see that, see how it casted a bit of green right here around the edge? I wonder, there's a thing called chromatic aberration that happens on photos. And there's a fixer for it in here. I'm going to remove that and see if it fixes it. No, it doesn't. Okay, it's just the way that the mask was interacting there. But that gives me an idea, but that this section could be green. So let's zoom back out. We're going to create a new mask. Let's just, oh wow, we just got lucky. We just got totally lucky there. So let's do that. Let's make this green. What a weird color combination. Like a cranberry rose red with green. It's a very strong, or a very strange combination. So as we can see, as I zoom in, it doesn't, see this little section down here, it's a little like dotty. We can fix that up. It just needs a little bit more attention. So this is what I mean by, you know, coming in extreme detail and kind of fixing some of the blemishes and some of the mistakes. But I mean, that looks, if you showed that to someone in a photo and been like, oh man, they teased the next jersey, it doesn't look 100% real, but it's pretty damn close. Like, it's not like just blanket throwing color on something and calling it a day. Like, you can actually see the jersey texture come through, and we can fix this up a little bit to help that out. But I'm just going to do the bottom section here. And there. So basically the entire bottom is done. A couple little spots to fix. There's a little dot right there that's bothering me. I'm not really worried about it for this video. And now we can kind of play around. I think maybe decreasing some exposure, maybe bring the shadows down a little bit more. I'm going to increase the exposure again. Maybe come back on the saturation. Like there's so much things. There's so many things you can do. You can go bright green. You can go to more of like a teal. You can just have fun and play around. And I mean, that's the entire intention of this thing, is honestly just to have fun and just, you know, you might create something that you never thought would work, two separate colors, and it's easy. Like, I colorized 2 jerseys in what, 3-4 minutes, and I kind of took my time because I was explaining things. You can really go pretty fast. That Automask feature is amazing, and just have some fun. And I just took these on the white table behind me, as you can see. Yeah, you can see it behind me. I took 2 lights, this one and this one. I pointed them at the table. I took my camera and shot straight down, and yeah, I mean, it was as simple as that. Like, there's nothing fancy. There's no trickery. Just a simple photo, looking down on the jersey. It's lit decently, and then throw it into Lightroom if you don't have Lightroom. I think you can buy it separately as just a program, but you can also get the photographer package, which I think is Lightroom and Photoshop for like $19.99 a month. But then you can also get the Creative Suite, which gives you everything in Adobe. But Lightroom is a pretty powerful program. So if you already have a DSLR, or you can even do this with your phone, really, take a photo, and then under 20 bucks, you can play around and do this. Obviously not a sponsor. Adobe's not sponsoring me. Just think it's something cool and something fun to do. It helps you understand color as well, and color relationships, and brand management too. You don't want clashing colors. You don't want a brand that's going to be offensive to look at. There are definitely some offensive color matching brands out there, and not necessarily hockey, but I can think of some other sports. I think there's a couple of football teams that I'd probably change the color for. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it helps your creativity, and it helps your knowledge of design, it helps your knowledge of color theory and everything. So if you guys want to try this out, there you go. Use the Automask feature and have some fun. Hope you learned something today. If you did, please hit the like button. If you enjoyed this video, obviously hit the like button. And if you like this video in general and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. We'll talk hockey real soon in the future. Adios.